Hello, welcome back. In this video, I want to talk to you about contemplation. And more specifically, I want to talk to you about contemplating absolute stuff or shooting to have what we might call an enlightenment experience or a direct consciousness or what have you. It's in crude terms, it's like you're going to be contemplating the nature of something. Not the relative nature of something, but the absolute nature of something. And I know that just sounds silly, so let me try to break it down for you, at least point you, if you've never been here before, at least point you in a certain direction. And if you have, I want to give you some tips for contemplation, how you can make that more powerful. So if you haven't been here before, essentially it's like, what is contemplation? It's like looking into something. It's like you want to know what something is. So you wonder about it, you work on it, you try to figure it out, you shoot to have an insight or a breakthrough. Now, like, for example, and one example I use in the workshops with Archimedes, when the king handed Archimedes a crown and said, figure out if there was gold mixed with copper in this crown. This was a new thing. Nobody had ever tried to figure this out before, so he worked on it. He was wondering, he was trying to get it, and had a breakthrough, an insight, right? So it is possible to have insights, and this would be an insight about something relative, ergo something in the world that he can measure and see and perceive, ergo relative. Yeah. And then, in addition to the relative, you can also contemplate or wonder about absolute matters. And the word absolute is absolutely the wrong word. There's no word that really works for that, but it's like questioning to discover the nature of something. Like, I can discover what I'm doing. You see, that's like some sort of relative thing. And then there's what I am, such that I would be doing that, or what I am being, or the reality of what I am. And that's not a relative matter because it's what's actually true. Now, I can hear that a few different ways, so I don't know how that's going to come across. So let me do it this way, just for fun. This is for those of you that have no idea what the fuck I'm actually talking about. See this? Phone. Notice you have like a label for this. It's a phone. We take the label off of it, and what it's used for, now what have you got? Well, and I'm doing the quick version here. Well, you have sight. Okay, cool. You see it. That's sight, though. That's not it. And then you hear it. Well, that's hearing. That's not this. And you feel it. Well, you don't feel it. I feel it, right? There's a feeling, but that's a feeling of something. That's not the something I'm feeling. What's the something? Now we're working toward getting what it is. Not what do you perceive it to be, but what it is. Tracking so far? Now that is not something that can be done like a process. There's no process that you're going to go through that's going to get you this consciousness. And again, I don't like the language because it tends to send you down a wrong road. But you can't get there by going through a process. Ergo, there's nothing you can see that is going to be what it is because that's just more sight. There's nothing that you can hear that is going to be what it is because that's more hearing. And even our sight and our hearing are both very limited scopes. Like you can only see a certain bandwidth, and then infrared and ultraviolet you cannot see. So your sight is limited. Same with the hearing, same with feeling. You can only pick up certain frequencies or vibrations. You tracking so far. And there's nothing that you can feel that's going to get you conscious of this stuff either because that's a feeling. It's just more feeling. You feel it. What's the it? See, so nothing you can do, and again, this is a very fast version, but notice when I'm talking about it, if your mind, when you try to go through these things, so like try to do it, you notice your mind goes, but wait a minute, then what is it? And I don't know what it is, and then your mind might also go, but it's impossible for me to get it. It's like, yes, it's true. For a mind, it is impossible because the mind only works in relative means. See? Your mind functions. It has a specific patterns. It does. It's like work functions on doing things. It is not capable of being conscious of what's actually true. And yet, It is possible to get conscious. Don't ask me how. It's just possible. So, now that I've ballparked you now about contemplating, that kind of stuff, notice, like there's an old Zen story or something, there's an old Zen guy, and he says, wait, but don't wait. Really want to know, but don't do anything, because doing something and or trying to go through, again, some kind of process, again, postulates that there's a here and a there to which you are going to get. In this case, you're already there. What I mean by that is what's true is already true. There is no process you can do, like I tend to, at least in the privacy of my own mind, and then sometimes very blatantly to other people, and I poo-poo the spiritual worlds or other practices because what I see being touted in the practices, now I don't know if these practices are actually trying to get people conscious of what's actually true, or if they're just going through a process trying to get people to live better. Usually it's the latter. But in either case, if they're trying to, they'll say something like, do this practice, then you will get enlightened. Do these steps, then you will get something. Do this for 20 years, then, or like you've probably heard me rag a couple of times, there is a woman who was in France who went away to some monastery and they had some stupid crap about only men are allowed to get conscious like this way, enlightened. Women can't. It's like, you kidding me? No. Or like, you need to sit a certain way. No. You need to dress a certain way. No. You need to eat the right food. No. Any process. No process. But then you go, okay, I'll do the process of no process. No, again, wrong. See, so then you're like, but then what do I do? Great. Now we're at the beginning of the video. What do? You do what we call contemplation. What is that? You want to know. You put your attention on the subject. In this case, like if you're going for what you are, or what another is, or what existence is, or what biological life is, not like my life, but life, what that is, like its nature, not what you see it to be, not what you hear about it, not even what you feel it to be, but what it is, prior to and or independent of whether you see, think, feel, or hear, or not. What is it? And then you want to know. You set out to become conscious, ergo, essentially, want to know what it is. Like, what is it? Do you want to know? Good, find out. Like, yeah, but, okay, there's some mind. Yeah, but, that's fine. And what is it? You still don't know, okay? Yeah, and then you try to see everything, right? You try to see, and eventually you exhaust your seeing after a while. And maybe you try to like listen for what's true, and that never works. And then you try to feel, or you get lost. You go into like, okay, intellectually you try to reason it out, and after you exhaust all of these avenues, eventually you'll get to a place, if you are honest with yourself, you'll get to a place where you've done all the shit, still you don't know. Well, fuck, now what do? Stay right there. Wait, but don't wait, which is to say, you're right there, there's nowhere to go, there's nothing to do, you've done it all already, you still want to know, you still don't know, and you're wide open to whatever is true, which is to say, you really, really, really don't know what's true and intend to get it. That's it. You just, that's it. And then get it. Now, if you're doing that, we call this contemplation. That it would be what I would call, again, this is a label. I don't give a shit about the label. I give a shit about the experience. I would call this more pure contemplation. Why? Because it's not gummied up with all the crap that we tend to do. And it's like, this came up because the guy who's here, he's actually sitting, I think, yep, he's still sitting back there. He's going to be a Zoom assistant for this retreat, which of course you're invited to come to a retreat. I asked him intentionally, I said, hey, what do you think would be useful for people? And he brought this to my attention, so I said, screw it, I'll make a video and maybe that'll be useful for you guys. And then he can listen in or whatever. And he's doing that now, see? There's a guy over there. He's from Australia. He's coming here to help, which if you want to help, let me know. So you get to this place where you're contemplating. Now, when you're there, you've tried all the stuff, you still don't know, continue anyway and be radically honest, which is to say, commit yourself to knowing what's true, whether you like it or not, whether it fits with what you believe or not, whether you feel good about it or not. All of that is irrelevant. And it's this kind of approach that it seems to me gives the results. Okay? And it's essentially, get it. That's the approach. The approach is, get it. That's it. That's it. Okay? Now, in addition to getting it, one thing I would add that may assist is get it, and Nicholas also brought this up with me. It's like, there's the part about like, get it right away, which is to say, don't wait. You see, wait, but don't wait. Don't wait around. Again, since it's challenging because we live in a world of process, you see? You can't understand me without process. You can't have a thought without process. You can't move your body without process. These are all relative processes. You live. Life itself is a process. It's all process. The whole thing is process. The whole experience is like that. Because we live in this process world, we tend to think that you must go through some process, then you will get the results. In this case, no process. Immediately. Like right now. And then I take it a step further when I'm working with people just to mess with them and have you notice like what you see right now is actually the end result of a process. It takes light a certain amount of time to get from point A to point B, hits your retina, then your brain has to do something, then your brain it like goes to your brain through your retina, your brain goes referencing a bunch of stuff, and then now you see. So even what you're seeing is too late. It's too late. Same with the feelings. The amount of time it takes a feeling to touch the nerves, hit your brain, go back so you feel it, that apparently operates at a certain speed or go another process. So you're actually behind. Your current experience is behind. It's actually, you're looking at the past. Just to mess with you. See? So you're not actually seeing now. You can't see now. So then what's true? You might not know. Good. This is more open. Like, wait a minute. I don't actually know. Good. Now, get it. And get it, what I call yesterday. Hurry up. Which is to say, really want to know immediately, like so immediately that you cannot even think a thought. So immediate that feelings are irrelevant because, again, that takes time. It's before the feelings. It's before time even gets to happen. What's true? Independent of life and death, what's true? You see how that sort of kicks all this fancy stuff in the teeth? Like, I don't know, I'm going to do the right spiritual practice and then sit the right way and then I'll sit on my zafu and I'll do all the shit, and you see, and then I'll have a breakthrough. He said, no. Because it's been true whether you are a turd floating in a toilet or whether you're having the most fantastical experience or anything in between, or confused or distracted or dead asleep or alive or dead. All of that is irrelevant. It's what's true already. Even before you were born, it's true. So then how do you grasp that? You can't grasp it. There's no way. There's no process. And then we run back into the circle of the mind having a challenge, like you'll have a challenge with that. I get it. Because again, the mind works in process. So if you're running into that challenge, it's okay. Just get what's true whether you're feeling challenged or not. And notice your mind will go through stuff. And then, those of you, like Nicholas has been here a few times, like people go through lots of crap. If you contemplate long enough, you will go through it. And eventually, if you're honest and pay attention, you'll start to notice, you start to see how your mind works. Like, I'm wanting a result. That's again a process. I don't need a result. And then so you lighten up on that, you toss it out, and then keep going so your contemplation becomes more powerful. You can do it more in earnest and better. See? And so these things I thought would help a bit. Now, I would also invite you, I'm biased, you make your own decisions, it's up to you, of course. I would invite you, whether you come here or not is really irrelevant. And if you want to contemplate some of this stuff, go find an enlightenment intensive. The reason I say this is because the amount of discipline and pressure that tends to put on people when they do it allows for breakthroughs to be more frequent, as far as I can tell. And it's like it's a service. In one sense, there is no way that you're going to get there because no process is going to work. And if you do this process, ergo, if you're doing an enlightenment intensive correctly in my mind, or more powerfully in my mind, you're just contemplating very powerfully in a group setting, and everybody's contemplating, it's very serious, and you're doing it, and that's all you're doing all day, every day, without fail, the chances, it just so happens it works this way, the chances of you making a breakthrough dramatically increase. So I invite you to do that. We have 2 workshops, and then you find them. They're called Enlightenment Intensives, or here we call them Contemplation Intensives, or the Insight and Enlightenment Workshop. That's what we do. It gives people an opportunity to apply themselves and really go for it. And that makes a difference. As far as I can tell, it's more powerful than just being on your own. All right? But don't take my word for it. Try it out, or talk to some other people who've done it. I can say that from my own experience, but I'm biased. Okay? All right, so when you're contemplating, do that. Another thing when you're contemplating, toss out everything you've ever fucking heard, everything you know, everything you care about or don't care about. Just start from scratch every time. The reason I say this is because when you're working in these ways on like discovering what's absolutely true or trying to become directly conscious, if you try to go for something that you are thinking you want or know or like some sort of benefit, you will funnel your mind in these directions and you will exclude all else. And when you do that, you're not looking openly. You're looking for what you think is best, what you think you need, what you don't want, what you want, and you're in this whole other world. No, toss it all out. Toss away everything you believe, everything you've heard. Toss it all. Just go for what's true. All right, and then get it yesterday. Okay? So I just wanted to share a couple of these things. You know, I asked Nicholas for something. He brought it up, so I thought I'd share. And it's helping me create a video for you. Okay? So if you want to get involved, check the links in the description. Come to a workshop, obviously. We have an online community. You can connect with other people. And it's also in service of this work. We have some freebies over there, some free course materials. Go check those out. It will help you in this work, in consciousness work, otherwise workshops. And we have a weekly newsletter that we're doing as well. Okay, so if you want to get involved, check the links. See you there. Okay, much love. Take care.